Alright, so now that we've chosen our image, what we're going to start to do is we're going to draw it out. But before we just start the drawing, we're actually going to make a small square to draw it inside of, so we can finish this at a good time. So on your sketchbook paper, what you're going to do, and you can see I have my picture right here that I'm going to be working on, and I don't want to draw it this big. We're going to make a 6-inch square. So if you have a ruler, obviously that would be great. So I'm going to start in the corner. This way I always have two sides that are perfectly straight. And I'm going to mark that at 6 inches along one side. I'm going to slide down also and mark. So that way I always have 2 points to make a straight line. And I'm going to slide this down, start from the top. Line it up. From the left. From the right. Alright, so now that I have my square, so what I'm going to do from here now is I'm going to start to draw out my eye. So with my eye, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, again, the nice thing, my picture printed in a square, so that'll help me out a little bit. So I'm going to look at just drawing out where I see this coming in. We're focusing on just the drawing for today and tomorrow. We don't want to add any color to it yet. We're just going to do the drawing. So one of the things I'm looking at right now is kind of where it's at. So if I take a look at my picture, right now I'm going to try to divide it in half. Like if I look at this gap here to this gap, oops, probably needs to be halfway. I'm trying to figure out half. So half is about right here. So where's that along this side? And halfway looks like it could be about here. Yeah. Give or take. So I like to mark this on my paper. Again, if you don't have yours printed out, it's 100% okay. For me, it works out to help me out a little bit. So I'm going to look to find, obviously half of 6 is 3. So I'm going to just mark that so I have a good idea of where already, if I'm off or not. And I was off a little bit on that, just a smidge, but not a lot. So then this way I can look vertically and see how far over that comes from half. So we're going to try to fill up our square, obviously, with our image of our eye. Again, so depending on the picture that you chose. So I'm drawing my eye, but now I'm also going to, actually, you know what? I lied. I'm going to make mine bigger. I don't want to make it that small. I don't need to have a lot of the hair. So I'm going to start that over again. I'm going to make this a lot bigger. So I'm actually going to bring it down. Yeah. Look that better. So basically what I'm doing is I'm cropping my picture down a lot. So I'm looking at it basically taking over from about right here, taking it down, taking it across, give or take, something along those lines. Sure, I'm probably going to bring this side in a little bit. It looks like, yeah, it's probably going to get cropped there. So as I'm looking right now, I'm drawing this out. I'm looking at, first of all, I'm drawing really lightly so I can erase really easily if needed. And I'm just looking at overall shape of everything kind of right now. So this is a snow leopard that I chose. some of those lines. There is a lot of detail in this eye, but it's actually a little tricky to see. It's kind of crazy. So as I'm working on it right now, that tear duct is kind of intense. So I'm also using my pencil to kind of figure out if my angles are right or if they're off a little bit. So like that needs to come down. That's okay. Could angle a little bit more, I'm thinking. So if that changes this distance, that gap is a lot bigger than what it needs to be. So now I'm going to bring that eyeball down a little bit more and do the same thing. Again, we're not adding color or anything like that today. So I'm just focusing on just drawing out kind of what I see kind of going on here. So again, same thing up here. This is a little bit thicker than what it needs to be as well. So whether you're drawing an animal eye or a human eye, your focus on the day is to just draw it out and again, kind of get in there. What you see, like I'm adding in right here, kind of that I have like a shadow basically, and add in down below that I have a little bit of something going on there as well. And this kind of comes off, so that's the outside. So look at that, kind of fades off there. A little bit comes in. So as I draw inside this part right here where this tear duct is, I'm also going to look at like the shapes that I see. So I have like these little tiny oval shapes I'm going to try to draw in. And the reason why I want to try to draw these with pencil is it'll make my life a little bit easier as I begin to work on the color portion of this as well. So for today, just focus on drawing out. Don't be adding any color. We definitely need to focus on just getting this drawn out for today and tomorrow. So that's kind of our focus. And make sure that you upload your progress of where you get today. And you want to definitely make sure that you have a completed submitted drawing tomorrow to gain full credit for this portion.